Well, this whole piece is called urban Raag. The whole concept of the Raag is the idea that it exists, and that the person who plays the Raag is the medium for the Raag. There's the concept that the Raag is always there around us. And I really like that concept, because if you go to India and you see the drama on the streets and the extremities on the streets and the mood in the air, I mean, there's extreme beauty, there's extreme ugliness. Raags really get that across. They do exist in the air. In some way, that's why I've called it urban Raag, because we're here in Manchester. You know, the people here who are involved in this project are from this area, and you know, what I want to do is get a feel for where they're coming from and the mood of Manchester. You know, the mood of the way they interpret their lives and what they're about.
Nitin's event really, I think, spoke to the culture and, in a way, even the politics of the world that we're living in, the diversity of people involved in making culture, making art, making statements about how we live and who we are.
I think Urban Raag, the piece that Nitin has conceived, is about being black in Britain. It's about the process we go through and the reactions we have to being black in Britain, being of foreign extraction in Britain.
Is it the way I think? Is it the way I think? Or is it reality that the world we're living in is at least what it has to say? Life is but a broken dream.
I trained as a Western classical pianist first, and then I played jazz piano, and then I went to a nearby temple, Gurdwara, where I actually learned some tabla and some sitar. I like incorporating lots of different influences from everywhere, really. And I think that's what I like about this, is coming out to a kind of community in Manchester and working with people who've got a lot of, you know, a lot of flair, a lot of imagination, and want to say something, you know, from their own viewpoint. I just see my role as facilitating people expressing themselves in the context that we're in. I'm trying to create something here where every single person is involved, you know, in some way, and yet I also respect that these are people who are into expressing their creativity in very different ways. And within 3 days, it's going to be very difficult. And I kind of see that the work's cut out, but at the same time, I feel quite positive with the potential. To make it more of a slow curve, the moment you go, so it's like it's better if it's.
Well, seems to be able to hear in his head what he wants, and at times he's been very prescriptive, which is good in some ways because we're all coming separately together, and so we don't necessarily have the rapport with each other way to know what to do.
And it's needed that direction, isn't it? Quite a strong idea.
But you see, that for me that's more what I'm learning, how to anticipate or even to invent what somebody needs when they don't know what to tell me.
Nitin's got it quite sorted, as he was quite specific about the ideas that he wanted to put over, you know, when we came in here.
Yeah, he's a good arranger.
Yeah, he sort of had an idea of the whole hour, you know, that we're doing. And what he wants is lots of different grooves, sounds and ambiances.
Am I supposed to behave when my neighbor thinks I'm a foreigner and my classmates homeboy thinks I'm gay. When the homeboy on the street sees me as his sister, and my wife is miles away, how am I supposed to behave?
I'm essentially a live artist and a performance poet, so I'm quite interested in the way that text, the recitation of text, is working with different instruments and how that whole ensemble is coming together, creating something quite exciting.
Peace be with you, my dearest misled ones.
I'm more of a lyricist. I bring in the lyrics and the spoken word because it's supposed to be a fusion of reality and non-reality. So we're supposed to be going from totally earth to abstract.
What I loved most about it was that people created using whatever discipline they felt comfortable with. So you had someone like Azim, who's of Asian origin. He had him singing in a way which was distinctly gospel, and I thought that was beautiful. That that it could bring a completely something that isn't of his racial origin or whatever, but he had obviously studied this form really well, and he understood gospel, the way that gospel singers sing, and he gave it. And yet he was singing at the same time as Manjeet. And Manjeet was singing in a classical Indian style, and I thought that's something that's beautiful.
I haven't worked with Asians myself. I mean, I was brought up with all the music. Oh my God, I was like a kid. So it's no big deal doing it. It was like, yeah, we understand. I've always wanted to do dance, R&B, which I've done, which I'm doing. But it's good to be working with my own people.
It's very much about what we have here as second and third generation British Asians, and reclaiming a culture that belonged to the previous generations, and also taking what is relevant to us as opposed to what is going on in the subcontinent.
We're halfway through right now and the excitement is great. Actually listening to something like the trumpet and the tabla being played on its own with strings behind it is great, because it's giving each instrument a different angle altogether, so you get a different sound, and it's really nice. The one thing that I love doing is playing tabla with the rhythm pattern jungle, and when I actually put slight bits of classical form tabla playing into jungle, it really freaks out.
A lot of people have this kind of concept that things that are artistic have to be organic necessarily, but my feeling is that it depends on the person who's actually creating. Like, you can have spirituality in the console of a computer just as much as you can in a tabla, and it's like it depends on how you approach it.